Good evening. Usually I have a disclaimer, but I wanted to take a second out just to thank everybody again for. Oh, well, wrong graphic. That's it. There we go. I wanted to thank everybody again for donating to the walk on Saturday, this past Saturday. Donations are still being accepted for the MS Society, the National MS Society, at rebrand.ly/adventure to a cure. And the National MS Society can be reached at 1-800-344-4867 or nationalmssociety.org. MS makes sure that, the National MS Society makes sure that MS stops its progression in debilitating people from thinking, etc. It is such an amazing organization, such an important walk on Saturday, and an honor and privilege to donate time to such an incredible organization. On that, let's begin. Usually I would just have a very long introduction, but all I have to say is it's time to talk. Good evening, and good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you may be, and welcome to the VF Talks, Venture Forward's conversation program about anything and everything. And tonight, I promise you, we will be talking about anything and everything because it's been that sort of week, and I have three people that can help tell that story. Well, two people, and one's on assignment. We'll talk about that in a second. But first, how you doing, Mr. Weber? Hope you're doing well. And then Matt says, how's that SWAC new pad of yours? Good, I hope. And Mr. Weber says, it's getting there, Matt. Thank you. Well, on that, I might as well go to our wonderful panel here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You guys are still muted. Let me unmute you. I got it. I think maybe not. You're still in green room. Ashley, can I hear you?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. I just how do I get you? Let me do this. There we go. How's that? Can we do that? And then we do that, and then we do that, and then we go, and now Matt.
There we go.
There we got it. I think by season 7, I should have this all figured out, I'm thinking.
I meant to write swank pad in my comment to Paul Weber from.
But what is the difference between a SWAC pad and a swank pad?
Well, since I don't know because I mistyped it. I meant swank because he's over there in England. I don't know what that means.
No idea on what that means. Mr. Burke is on assignment right now, so he's not joining us this week. But it's great to have Matt and Ashley, as always, on this VF Talks. And the link for over there. If you want to join us, you could join us on Ecamm. We got room, and we would love to have anyone and everyone join this conversation for sure. How was your week, guys?
Good. I have a question for you.
Sure.
Can I jump in with that? Why in the pre-show still image was there a picture of Dick Cavett, Andy Dick, and Dick Van Dyke?
Oh, it's funny. I had a picture of basically Lindsey Buckingham as portrayed on Saturday Night Live for about 2 or 3 weeks, and no one asked Jack about that. But I put up pictures of Van Dyke and of Andy Dick and Dick Cavett and people saying, "Oh my God, okay." So let's moment of honesty, right?
So it was a bit of human behavior testing.
Oh, it's a bit of human behavior, but it's also the perils of I don't know, online dating, I guess, messaging. I have no idea.
Are you dropping subliminal messages?
No, someone asked me. I was going to save this for next week. Someone asked me for a dick pic, so I figured the best response is to send a picture of Dick Cavett and Dick Van Dyke and Andy Dick, and that's the joke, and that's why it was down there.
Well, I'm glad I asked.
Well, you asked for it, and you got it. Right around the time when someone's mom was watching. That's perfect. The timing, impeccable. Awesome.
And speaking of human behavior psychological tests, we have Ashley with us.
There you go.
Yeah.
Have you ever done any of those, Ashley, where you try and get the public to do something? Let me give you an example where you're on a subway and you have 6 plants all in on it, 6 people all in on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just pretend you all don't know each other and you start randomly dancing to someone who has a boombox playing, slow dance music. And the point is, can you get 2 people that are outside of your group to do the same thing? Because human nature is they want to, fit in. They
Be
want
part
to
of the group. I've never
ever
done
done
that. I did do a fun experiment in college for a class. In undergrad, where at the grocery store, I was literally shopping out of people's carts. So I'd walk by and just grab something and then go.
Was there a human behavior element to it, or was it just something fun to do?
There was this utter level of shock and no idea how to respond to that. Right?
That's cool.
It's not theft. You haven't bought it.
You know what we did? We did also. We were there was a dorm which was in a multi-floor building, and we would put people on several floors, and when they would get in, we would walk into the elevator and not turn around to face the door. And we wanted to see if we could get someone who's not in on it to face the back like we were.
That's a good one. That one makes people so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable. It's a great one to do.
You ever play the annoying game with someone where you just repeat the last word they say in every sentence and see how long it is before they want to basically punch you?
Yeah, that's fun for like 20 seconds.
I was going to say, yeah, that goes 2 sentences and then I go, stop.
No, see, but even if you said stop, I'd probably continue for another at least 3 minutes.
Yes, you would, and you have.
Have.
Bernadette's in the audience, at least on...
Yeah, so hello to
Not
my
on
mom and my
YouTube.
aunt. We got hi, John. I brought this up in the comments before. Hi, John.
On
Hi,
Thomas
Ashley.
YouTube. Oh.
And Aunt Byrne says, hi, John.
Those
But
people
no
must
hi
be on
Ashley
the
from Aunt
Facebook.
Byrne. I'm sad.
Exactly right. I would demand a recount.
Well, hi, everyone. Glad you're watching Venture Forward with us misfits.
Yeah, us misfits that basically are putting up pictures of random celebrities that all have some sort of correlation with each other.
What's that web service where you can throw a couple $100 at a celebrity and they'll record a short video
Cameo.
of whatever?
Cameo.
Yeah,
Andy
it's
Dick's on
funny.
Cameo.
My
Yeah.
boss and I were talking about that earlier this week.
Yeah, every now and then you'll get like a big YouTuber that'll do that, and I'm like, it's really kind of reserved for celebrities. But some big YouTubers will have Cameo accounts as well.
There are some on there. John Bon Jovi charges $10,000, by the way, for a cameo.
I saw a thing where they're doing drive-in theaters. You come in your car, you pay for up to 6 people that you can pack in your car, and you can watch a Bon Jovi show at a drive-in.
That is so cool, and I want to do it.
It's
Let's make
coming
this
around.
happen.
I think it's only like $58 per car. Like it's nothing. Well, not that $58 is nothing, but as far as concerts.
For a concert, that's nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing. I'm going to see Motley Crue in the nosebleed seats, and they were $200 a piece.
Oh man.
And that's cheap. That's not even like.
I'm gonna say we're
you-
seeing Motley Crue too in July.
Nice.
Part of a
Yeah,
package deal, though. There was more than just Motley Crue.
They're with who are they with? Poison, Def Leppard,
Poison.
and Joan Jett.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I tell you what, my 2 favorite bands, Poison and Motley Crue. And when I would go to bars when I was younger, when I was doing that, if the cover band would play both a Poison song and a Motley Crue song in the same night, they were instantly my favorite cover band because not everyone will play one of them. I'm gonna be in heaven. I'm gonna be in heaven.
Poison and Motley Crue. That's the way. It's the way to your heart, huh?
Oh yes. Easy peasy. I'll do anything.
Someone who is an avid Poison and Motley Crue fan says, "Where?"
Hershey,
Pennsylvania. That's where I'll
yes.
be. Nice. All right. We'll have to keep an eye out for each other, Ashley. That'd be fun.
Most definitely.
Yeah. I worked a concert. I was hanging out at the ball game with a group of friends, and the one girl I know was like, "Oh no, I can't do." I asked her. I was like, "Let's do something on such and such a date. We're trying to get something together." She goes, "I can't do that. I'm work." I'm like, "Where is it? Do you work again?" She goes, "Oh, I work for the entertainment for concerts." I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting." She's like, "Yeah, the Guns N' Roses is really gonna like stretch us thin." I was like, "Wait a minute. You work the Guns N' Roses like in the t-shirt tent?" She goes, "Yeah, that's what I do." I'm like, "Man, I would kill to have that job. I would love to go work a t-shirt at that venue." She goes, "We need help." So, "Can you seriously?" I was like, "Yes." She goes, "I'll text my boss." So she texted her boss, and then we left the venue and then we went out for dinner or something like that. And bloop bloop, here comes the text. She goes, "You're in, Matt." I was like, yes. So I worked the tent, and the older, like the head, the person that was in charge of it, she was like, anyone who's sort of older gets to work the tent inside the venue so they can watch the show too, because they had 6 tents and only one of them was inside the venue. And I'm like, Thank you. I don't know who you are, but I love you. So I worked, and then it was like the first 2 songs that came on. I was working, and then I was like, I'm not working anymore. So I clocked out. I watched the rest of the show for free, and they paid me not even for free because I put in my hours, and about 5 weeks later I got a check in the mail for like $210. I was like,
Nice.
I got paid to see Guns N' Roses. It was insane. Good times.
Were you thrown back by the fact that they moved you inside because you were older, or you just the reaps of the benefits were just so good?
Both. I was like, yes, like she knew what was up. You know, the director who was in charge. She's like, yeah, I know it, because I had a chance to see Guns N' Roses, and it was when we were going down to senior week, and half of our group stayed to see the concert and then went to the beach, and the other half went to the beach a day early. I was the one that went to the beach a day early, and as an adult, I'm like, why the heck did I do that? The beach is always going to be there, but not this concert. I was like, why did I skip the Guns N' Roses concert when I was like 25 years old? I was like, stupid. Like, what was that one extra beach? I can't even remember what that one extra beach day was. But I would have remembered that concert. Live and learn, right? Live and learn.
Yeah, I mean, it's a story that you have forever, but when presented with the same opportunity again, you take it.
Yeah. So concerts should be first consideration, and then
up here,
normal summer routines way at the bottom of the list. Anyway,
I mean, versus I don't know, going to the DMV or something. Sorry, go ahead.
Right? Live music, yeah. Bring it. I love it. And now I'm starting to understand music. Like, I have more of an appreciation for it even more. So, because it's not easy. Soundboards are hard. Oh my goodness. My goodness.
How many channels on your soundboard?
I have 4 XLR inputs and then 3 miscellaneous inputs for Bluetooth, phones, and USB. And then I've got a slider for the sound pads. So it's technically 8, but I can put in 4 XLR devices like microphones. But I've got the microphone, the piano, and then my voice changer thing on 3 of the 4 XLR inputs. I've got the Rodecaster Pro. # not sponsored.
# not sponsored.
Yes.
What's the craziest voice you do on the voice changer?
Oh, let me fire it up. It takes me a minute to get it all warmed up because it's a very inexpensive, made in the mainland of China device, and it is very finicky. You have to turn off Bluetooth. I've got to jack the reverb up, jack the reverb back down. Hopefully this is going to work. Are you ready? We're going to give it a try. Check 1.
Check 2. How about that? Can you hear this? This is the children's voice, and I'm gonna switch to the uncle voice.
Uncle.
This is the uncle voice. Mwahaha. Now the other 2 are very similar.
Goddess.
This is a goddess voice. Doesn't this sound very much like the first one? Oh, I had the reverb up. Every time you flip it, the reverb comes on. And this one, sort of sacrilege. This one's the God voice.
God.
This is the God voice. Please bless me, for I shall forgive you.
So that's my voice. That came in on line number 3 of my soundboard. Like, that really matters to you, but that's what
line 3. Not line 2. Line 3.
I have a YouTube video on that exact device on my channel. So if you want to learn about this device, it's called the KB11. I know, riveting product name, but that's what it's called.
If you can hit the KB11 at the right time, you can get downtown without much of a problem getting through traffic and whatnot. So it's
Yeah. Ooh, speaking of traffic, I had a not so pleasant sight today because I tried to get my shopping done before VF Talks. So I went out of my house, went to the main intersection, the light at the main intersection, and it was green, my direction, and 3 cars ahead of me, and car went through the intersection on a green light. Big truck comes hauling a big trailer with like lawnmowers on it or whatever. Didn't even try to stop. Whack! Smashed into this thing. Truck spun around. Smoke was coming out of the engine. I was like, oh man. They called the, I could tell people were calling the authorities. I put it in reverse. I was like, I'm not going to wait through that mess. And no one was hurt. I mean, everyone from both cars got out. I mean, there was no one. But man, you got to look both ways. Just because you got a green light doesn't mean you go. You still got to make sure there's nothing. When I was learning to drive, my father yelled at me because I didn't look. But it was a one-way street, and there shouldn't be anything coming that way. He's like, no, you got to look. There's could be some a-hole going the wrong direction. You don't know that. So you always, anyway, got to look. Just be careful.
Especially in Harrisburg.
Yeah, Harrisburg adjacent. Oh.
From your background, Ashley, what's your stories about the streets and roads of Lancaster and the crazy drivers that are there?
It's not so much crazy drivers as it is tourists who don't understand you're allowed to pass buggies.
Oh.
You're allowed to pass them, people. It's okay.
Don't they have the little orange triangle on the back, the reflective, like...
They do. They're required to.
Caution, slow moving, whatever that means.
Yes.
Jebediah can only go at a set speed, and then...
They're usually running on 1 horsepower. It's not very fast. Literally 1 horsepower.
But funny enough, they still have to stop at Safeway or whatnot to... Darn Mennonites.
Amish and Mennonites are different, and this was the Amish. The Mennonites don't drive buggies.
Yeah, they have access to some technology. Although, in high school, someone was friends with someone who was a Mennonite in another school, and the car that this person drove was a Volvo.
Mm-hmm.
But Mennonites are not allowed to have chrome because it's flashy and gaudy or whatever. So they took a paintbrush with black paint and painted the chrome with a crappy brush, not even like a roller. It wasn't even, it looked horrible. You ruined the car. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
That's the way they had to do it.
They usually drive black cars and nothing fancy. And they tend to have so many kids that they're driving gigantic black vans.
That's why they usually get jobs as morticians and undertakers.
Black vans. Well, there's a YouTube channel I watch, which is a manufacturer of wooden gaming tables and gaming furniture and gaming accessories. And one of the plants is in Pennsylvania. I think it's in Marietta. And there's a big portion of the employees are Mennonite because they want the craftsmen, because a lot of them are trade, they're skilled in the trades, and this is a woodworking shop. And then they're always hiring. So I was thinking, okay, after I retire, I should put in an application and go work for this company because it's a cool company. And I love woodworking. I don't know if you know, I have a woodworking channel. # not sponsored. And
# not sponsored.
I'm sure they don't pay very good, but it would be something I would just do for funsies. You know, I would get to work on production level equipment, you know, cranking out woodworking stuff at scale. Because I have a woodworking shop, but I do onesie twosies things just for my YouTube channel. I don't do any type of commissions or whatever like that. So it's just seems fun to me. But I would get to hang out with the Mennonites and eat their delicious food because, as we said, the food is very heavy, very rich, very thick,
Very amazing.
very amazing.
Just don't go to the Good and Plenty.
So
I don't know
that's-
why Good and Plenty basically became a place that was, oh, that's the place you go to when you're in Lincoln. No, Good and Plenty's horrible.
Good and Plenty is a tourist trap.
Yeah.
Locals do not eat at Good and Plenty.
Where are some of the places locals go to?
The Lidditz Family Cupboard,
Mm-hmm.
Oregon Dairy.
Mm-hmm.
We don't go to the smorgasbords. There's no point.
I'd like to go to like a Mennonite cookout with like a pig roast. Oh my God.
I've done that before. I actually went to an
Probably have to-
Amish one. That was cool.
Oh. You would need a wheelbarrow to get me out of there. I would probably not be able to move after I stuff myself.
There was over 100 of us there. It was really cool.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Also, very big on the volleyball. The Amish are like
Oh.
hardcore volleyball players.
Did not know that. Very cool. That's a great sport. That's a good sport to play,
Yes.
like playing volleyball.
Is that the same sort of effect you have when you go to like a Brazilian steakhouse, Matt?
Well, sure. With you know me too well, John. You know me too well.
Yeah.
Oh, my. Well, I had some technology snafus, if you want to talk about that.
Mm.
So I bought myself, since I didn't have to buy a second monitor, I'm reusing an older monitor that I had because I got the right cable. And I had a little bit extra cash around. So I got myself an external SSD drive, a solid state drive, no spinning parts or anything like that. I got the biggest one they sell, 2 terabytes, the fastest they sell. It's 200 up to 2,800 megabytes a second. I mean, it's just, it screams. Plug that sucker in. It got so hot. Like you couldn't barely touch it. And it wasn't even reading and writing. It was just sitting there. I just mounted, just sitting there doing nothing. I was like, no. I boxed it up, sent it back, and I got a different brand. I got a SanDisk brand, and that's like a recognizable brand name. And it's warm, but it's nowhere near as hot as that drive I had. I couldn't. I would just be worrying about it, and I'm like, I didn't buy this drive to have one more worry in my life.
Right.
So I sent it back. And you know what the weird thing was now I bought it through Amazon. So, you know, I put in the return request and they printed out the barcode for the box. I got the box ready, drove it to the UPS store, they scanned it in, got in my car, came home, was working, doing spreadsheets. 2 hours later, I get a thing from Amazon. Your refund has been processed. The money was in my account. Like the box was still in transit. They didn't even get it back yet. It was 2 hours after they blipped it in. I was like, now it was Amazon credit. Like I didn't have it go back to my credit card, but it was,
Right.
It's there. It's in my account. So the next couple $100 I have to spend on Amazon, it's already paid for.
Well, I guess they figured if they were going to sell you a product that was going to set your house on fire and you needed to return it, they're going to give you the money back as soon as humanly possible.
Yeah. Well, maybe. Or I just buy so much from them. They're like, we want to keep Matt happy. Like maybe they said that. Like maybe I tripped some sort of metric or algorithm. They're like, keep an eye on this customer. We want to keep Matt happy because I spend a lot of money.
Be careful because he's going to start shopping at Target and Walmart in a second, and he's going to lose no more Amazon money heading this way. He's going to go to competitors and other big box stores.
The only thing I bought at Walmart was He-Man and Skeletor because they're the only ones that were selling them for the first 9-month window when they hit the market. Walmart sort of has a monopoly on toys now. Because if you think about it, where are you going to go to buy toys? Toys R Us is gone. KB Toys is gone. They're the only player in town. So they get these deals with Hasbro and Mattel, and they're like, new toy line comes out and there's going to be a groundswell of interest. You can only get it through Walmart for the first 9 months until it'll eventually end up in maybe Target. But yeah,
Toys and puzzles. Lots of puzzles at Walmart. Like lots of puzzles. Like 500 piece, 1,000 piece, 5,000 piece. Like, who would have thought Walmart would have a puzzle selection? And yet there they were. And puzzle glue. So obviously, if you're going to have puzzles, you're going to need puzzle glue once you put the puzzle together so you can frame said puzzle.
Isn't that just spray adhesive?
Can be, or it could be a sticky sort of rubber cement like contraption.
Hey, I saw something, no surprise, on YouTube. It was a puzzle solving channel, and someone had a puzzle. It must have been 20 pieces, and they were translucent blue, no image. It was just completely, not clear, but you could see through it. And it was engineered in such a way that the pieces would fit in lots of other pieces, but only one of them was right. And some, like, you didn't know if they were one way or the other. And you could solve this. It was only like 20 pieces. It didn't seem that hard. You could get the whole way to the last 3 pieces and they just wouldn't work. Then you would have to disassemble it. It was quite the mind, insert bad word.
Four-letter word rhymes with
quite
Chuck.
The mind flip, yeah.
Yes.
Because
I want this puzzle.
But just the thing that fascinated me was someone had to figure out the engineering to pull that off. Like, they really had to think about these pieces. I was like, that's cool. I like when I don't expect to find something really super interesting, and it turns out to be super interesting. Doesn't happen all the time. But yeah, there's puzzle solving channels, and of course they got 100,000 subscribers. All these weird channels. Like, how do you have that many subscribers? I don't get it. This one guy built a contraption out of 2x4s, and you put 3 items on this bench, and then it had a lever. And when you pulled the lever, one of 3 hammers would smash the item randomly. And there was some sort of gear ratio where it was random. So you threw the lever, and one of the 3 things is going to get smashed. And he would put like a ball of Play-Doh, a Mattel car, and an iPhone. And they were like, which one's it going to be? And there's 50,000 people watching live, super chats coming in like nobody's been, and he throws the hammer, and then boom, the iPhone gets smashed, and people just go nuts. I was like, how is this making money? I don't get it.
But you were watching it.
They do the craziest things around. The hydraulic press channel. Are you familiar with the hydraulic press channel?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that is
relaxing.
Amazing. He put a mini hydraulic press under the hydraulic press and crushed the hydraulic. Sammy Superstar is on the YouTubes.
Yeah, he is.
Sammy.
Are they still, quick ask for Sammy, are they still planting things over on the West Coast? Let us know in the comments.
Sammy's in New Jersey.
Well, yeah, but he was watching the same thing that we were all watching, the premiere episode of live streaming plants, the reboxing or the repotting.
Oh, God. Well, okay. We'll wait to see what Sammy says.
It's all about expansion, right? Well, we talked about live streaming plants, but then there's the thing I keep on joking about is live spinning pros, because we all want to start spinning. So there's that piece.
On the Peloton?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
She keeps on seeing the van for Peloton.
Did you hear about the recall?
No.
They're recalling the treadmills.
Oh.
There were 27, about 30 injuries and 1 fatality because people, small children and pets are getting pulled in underneath the machine. And they need to recall, I think it's some obscene number of devices. Could you imagine the freight packing that big heavy piece of equipment up, shipping it out, getting it fixed, and shipping it back? It's going to bankrupt the company. Recall, yes, says Donna. Yeah, it's a major problem. I don't get the appeal of Peloton, but I mean, hey, Sandy Archer's here. Hi, Sandy.
Sandy, how are you?
Hey, there's for everyone out there. There's a link in the on the screen here. If you hit that link, John will let you in. If you
Yeah,
so please.
guest.ecam.live/422ef5cb5.
Just rolls off the tongue.
It's as simple as that.
You're a web guy. You should have like ventureforward.com/join and just have it forward to that.
Because the link changes all the time, and I've gotten so many. It's like, wow, you're putting out a link for your Ecamm on the Facebook page on YouTube. I change it every other week, so it would have to change. But I could set up a Rebrandly for that, sure. Sort of like what I did for the MS Society, which again would look something like this. Rebrand.ly/adventure to a cure. Again, thanks to all of you that have donated to the National MS Society for the walk last Saturday. Their fundraising continues through September 30th, so you get a chance, go to the site rebrand.ly/adventure to a cure, or you can find out more about the National MS Society at 1-800-344-4867. Again, 1-800-344-4867, or go to nationalmssociety.org. Sandy asks the question, what are we talking about, or what we talking about?
Anything?
Anything and
Talked
everything.
about a lot of topics. We talk about human behavior tests to do for funsies. We talked about technology. We talked about driving safety. We're all over the place here, Sandy.
We talked about food.
Yes. We talked about the Amish. We talked about Mennonites.
Yeah. Oh, I'm working on a video from my piano channel. Bam.
Piano, awesome.
Are you familiar with Dick Dale and the Deltones? They did the opening song of Pulp Fiction. When they rolled the credits, or not the pre-credit, whatever they're called at the beginning of a movie. Yeah. And then, so I've got the footage recorded, and I'm gonna layer in video clips of the movie while I'm playing the piano. It's gonna be epic.
Lots of subjects indeed, Sandy. Lots of subjects.
We're all over the place here.
Anything and everything. It's quite a difference than the shows during the week. Figured, why not talk about anything and everything? Surf music's very cool, for sure.
I'm going to do another video where I do a tour of my studio here. I'm going to call out every piece of equipment and how I've connected it all together. And I'm going to do a supplemental video of the woodworking projects I did to support the audio-visual gear. Because if I cannot buy a tripod and make a wooden something out of wood to hold my camera, I will. I have 9 projects here that I'm going to talk about. And that's not including the pedestal for Darth Vader. Like I made that. Anyway. So I think that's going to be fun. And I do little another channel. We're talking about channels that are successful and you don't know why they're successful because they seem kind of odd. Channels on how to organize your desk for productivity. There are channels with hundreds of videos on that topic, if you can believe it. So I've done things where I've got these curtains with the heavy drapes for the sound absorption, and I've got the tie backs that kind of tie them open, and I got tired of putting a little loopy thing through the little grabbing hook. So I hot glued magnets on them, and now they just click. Just look like, I reset these windows 2 or 3 or 4 times a day, and if I can save myself 30 seconds a time, imagine the prorated time I'm going to save just by that one little hat. So I have all these little I have hooks. I have things hanging on hooks. I have everything off the ground. The cable management is now impeccable. I'm like, I think I'm going to put together a pretty interesting video of how I've cobbled together all of this gear on the cheap too. Like, don't make no mistake. Like, everything I buy is on the cheap. So if I had a way to save money, you better believe it. I did. And,
2 questions from Sammy of the Superstars. He first asks, "Where is the ha ha ha?" And for a second, I thought I said, where's the Hanukkah? But we're far from Hanukkah, so it's not. Where's the ha ha ha? The ha ha is somewhere in here. It comes up from time to time. And then Sammy asks, "How was the walk?" The walk was fantastic. Technical difficulties barring that, it was phenomenal. It was a beautiful day in Stroud Preserve down in Westchester. It got 3.5 miles in. A lot of people were out. It wasn't for, it's a virtual MS walk, so they're not all walking for MS. I'm doing the MS walk, and I recorded 40 minutes of it, which I still have to edit and put it out on my YouTube and Facebook sites, but channels rather. But I mean, it was a gorgeous day. Saturday was a gorgeous day. It was 60 some odd degrees, 62, 63 degrees. It was incredible. So thank you for asking, Sammy. And I just, again, thank you to everybody who donated to the Venture for a Cure, which is the team page we had for the National MS Society. So it was a very proud moment, but also I think deep down inside, something that really resonated with me because of what I've been dealing with this year with the diagnosis, but also the Oservis and going for MRIs and this and the other thing. So it's kind of a confluence of a lot of different emotions in one morning last Saturday. So thank you for asking, Sammy.
A confluence?
Mm-hmm.
That is a web service that my company uses.
Yeah. Should I not use the word? Does that bring back?
No, yeah.
Okay.
I'm just throwing it out there.
A synthesis, a totality. I mean, I can. Sammy says no problem.
A kerfuffle.
A kerfuffle. It's a Simpsons character, isn't it?
Probably.
Should we talk about tomorrow, Matt?
If you want to. I don't know how interesting it is, but there is a minor league hockey game going on.
Woohoo.
We're almost done. There's only 2 weeks of play left before the playoffs, which I heard they canceled the playoffs.
They did. They canceled the the Calder Cup this year again,
thing?
second year in a row.
The whole thing is canceled.
Well, the Western Division is allowed to play some sort of playoff or championship for the Western Division, but the AHL en masse, there isn't a playoff or a cup this year again, like in 20.
Oh my! Well, oh well.
Yeah, I it's somewhat of a controversial decision, but I get it. The AHL is still crying somewhat poverty even before the pandemic. Oh, I said it, whatever. And certainly going into a playoff season and it's just, I can understand why they're doing what they're doing. It left it to the individual divisions, individual clubs, and worked it out that way. I'm glad the Pacific Division is still doing something, but it stinks for the Hershey's of the world and the Hartfords of the world and whatnot, because, it was a very entertaining season. But to think that there is no big payoff at the end.
Yeah, that's what sucks. Don't feel bad for the Hershey Corporation. They've got more money than they know what to do with. They literally live off the interest. They can't. It's impossible to even spend as much money as the Herco company has.
It's a lovely. I love Hershey. I mean, it's a great place to visit. It's a great place to hang out. And yeah, I'm not surprised.
Dairy Township is the formal name. Hershey is a fictitious name. It really because if you get arrested, it's the Dairy Township police that's going to arrest you. It's not the Hershey police. Hershey. My brother lived when he was first out on his own, like 19 years old, had a small little apartment, and it was kind of those underground apartments where they just had like the little square window at the top which you could see out, and it was drop ceilings. It was just a hole in the wall. But Hershey is so affluent, he would get mail from the local government, and it says, we want your donation to put flowers out on the main highway, because it's a divided highway, and there's always these nice posies, always immaculate. And it's like, how much do you want to spend? It said $100, $500, $2,000 other, implying that people would check the other and go higher than that. He's like, I'm just a little guy in this small single bedroom apartment at the bottom of the building. He's like, I can't afford any of this. He threw it right in the trash. But it was just like, that is the amount of money that town has. It's crazy.
100, 500, 2,000 or other.
Other, yes. Just for the posies in the middle of the main strip there in downtown Hershey, whatever you call it. Yeah. On Hershey Park Drive or whatever.
See, the Hershey Corporation pays very well no matter what you do there.
Yeah. I was a former employee. Did you know that? I was I did the face painting gazebo. I went to art school, and right as I was leaving high school, I got a job there before I went into the art college, and they would have these little acrylic paints and a board with all these like little happy images and flowers and stuff like that. People's like, I want the flower on my cheek, and then you would paint the flower on their cheek. And the hardest one was the Tasmanian devil. Like, that was a complicated one, and only the good artists would do that. So I was doing Tasmanian devils because I was one of the better artists, and that was fun. I did that. I got free passes to the park because you show your employee pass and you could get into the park for free. Thought that was fun.
That didn't morph itself into a career of doing tattoos?
It's the precursor to tattoos. Yeah. Now, I don't think they have the face painting gazebo anymore. And
they wouldn't be able to do it right now anyways.
Yeah. Well, they had the park open. The park was open.
Yeah, the park's open, but they can't do face painting. You still have to wear your mask in the park.
Yeah.
They could paint your mask.
I think that would be some violation of some social distancing rule.
Yeah. But that was
worth a shot. Worth an ask there.
It as an employee, it's an interesting operation because they give you 2 uniforms, and then you never take them home. And then when you put your used uniform in the laundry, and then you have the fresh uniform for the next day, and then you'll swap it out. So your locker will always have at least one fresh. I was like, that's pretty clever. Like, you don't think about how big enterprises like that run, but that's the way they did it. I was like, oh, interesting.
Well, the fact that they did your laundry for you, that's amazing.
Yeah. You know, they want everything to be the same. They want quality. They want control. You know,
control.
You don't want
the fact that they would treat that the way Disney would treat the parks and whatnot, whether it's Disney World or Disneyland or whatnot. The fact that they have that sort of meticulous level of detail on Hershey Park and the Hershey properties and whatnot is very, very eye-opening and just amazing.
Yeah. My nephew and his girlfriend work there as their full-time career jobs. I mean, he's one of the higher level executives, and she works at Chocolate World doing you can sign up for a class to make candy or something like that.
Yes, I've always wanted to do that.
That's what she does. I was like, look, you got to hook me up with the sugar-free Jolly Ranchers, because Jolly Ranchers is a Hershey property. And I was looking online, and I thought I was buying 3 bags for $18, 3 little individual bags. 1 bag for $18. It came in the mail, and I looked at it. I was like, holy crap, it does say 1 bag. And here they're discontinuing the sugar-free. They're rebranding it. It's going to be called Jolly Rancher Zero instead of Jolly Rancher Sugar Free. And I was like, you work at the factory. Like, get me a freaking bag of these sugar-free Jolly Ranchers. So I got the hookup.
What is up with the freaking Zero anyway? Because Coca-Cola started that with the Coca-Cola products. Yeah. And then you mentioned Jolly Rancher and Jolly Rancher Zero. I was watching a commercial the other day. There's a Budweiser Zero. Budweiser Zero? What the heck is Budweiser Zero? It's a non-alcoholic beer, low in sugar. And it's like, okay. One, I know the story of O'Doul's, so how good is that story going to be? But second of all, what has possessed Anheuser-Busch to do a Budweiser Zero?
Yuppies, I don't know. Neckbeards. Hipsters. The hipsters are responsible.
Probably.
Question for anyone with a therapy background. If someone is sober, what is the take? And there really should be an AA question. What is the take of someone consuming non-alcoholic beverages?
It's a controversial one. I personally would say don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Not every therapist is going to agree with me.
I kind of agree with you with that. I would, one, it's disgusting because I've had O'Doul's way back in the day and I didn't like it. So that's one. But the second thing is no.
It's that line of temptation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what about eating or consuming Jack Daniel's barbecue sauce? Non-alcoholic Jack Daniel's barbecue sauce, because that's freaking delicious.
That stuff is amazing, and I'm okay with that. I'm actually okay with most foods with alcohol or alcohol-based because the alcohol cooks off.
Yeah.
But consuming the beverage as a beverage, i.e. drinking a beer, drinking a mixed drink, yada, 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 is no bueno.
Mm-hmm. But that's my personal opinion. That's not like an across-the-board opinion.
There are many people that agree with you on that one. And yeah. I figured it was worth lightening because we talk about things like a Jolly Rancher Zero and a Coke Zero and a Pepsi Zero Sugar and all that stuff. Fine. But when we start talking about alcoholic products or from alcoholic companies or beer distributors or whatnot, beer manufacturers rather, that are basically doing a zero alcohol version of a beer, then it becomes a major question because how much of Pandora's box is being opened there?
Mm-hmm.
I guess it depends on how the person deals with it.
Mm.
Yeah, it depends on you and your own recovery.
Right.
I would just say, what's the point of tempting yourself?
Exactly. I'm coming close to 2 years, May 30th, so it's definitely something that's still fresh and livid in my mind as far as there's the line, not touching that line with a 100-foot pole. See, Sandy, we do talk about anything and everything on this show.
Yeah, that's what I guess we do. I guess we do. I like your emoji in your name above your
Hmm.
video image. I should have an emoji too. And look, my name's covered up. See, that's what John
Oh,
thinks of me.
I'm sorry.
He's like, "Pfft, that guy.
Yeah, Matt gets no
I
name.
could fix that. There's.
Can you put the tongue out emoji with the two?
This is what I'm just gonna move you over here.
Okay. Now make Matt Haas as big as the whole image. Blow it up.
There you go.
Bigger.
Man,
bigger.
There you, oh, you want it bigger? Okay.
There we
there
go.
you go. There you go. See, your your name in lights, and there you go. It's JV and Rex, Ashley Blake, Matt Haas. It's just like that.
Wait, can I have one more request? So,
Sure.
The emoji I just put in the YouTube chat. Can it be after Haas? So Matt
Oh, you want that? Ay.
See, look, I got him pushing the buttons now, folks. Putting the host on blast.
It's great. You don't want the winky eyes. You want that one. Got it.
Solid black.
Solid
dot.
eyes.
Yeah, because that's Cali.
There you
approved.
go.
There we go.
See, there you go.
That's the one. That's the good stuff.
That's the win. And then what I'm going to do is, now that this whole entire thing's gone off the rails, we could just do that, and that's fine.
And see, okay, now it's touching me. See.
Oh my God.
It's connected to me.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we can't
The
insult.
only thing better would be if you and Ashley were 20% smaller and my video feed was big. No, I'm just kidding.
20% smaller.
20%.
Not anything more. And we measured it. It's not. All right, you know what?
Now what's he doing?
Well, one, I'm fixing this because you're all over the place, just like this show. But then I'll get back the buy me a coffee. Buy me a coffee if you like what you're seeing and you like the amount of nothingness and randomness. Buy this guy. Buy Rex a coffee. He would love that.
He needs to be well caffeinated.
Yeah, he needs to definitely be well caffeinated. My God.
His cantankerousness will.
Very cantankerous. I gotta say, I think some of his cantankerousness has rubbed off on me.
Well, that's not a bad thing. That can serve you well in life. Being a bit cantankerous.
A little bit of an edge. You need a little bit of an edge there. Let's see. I just want to make sure I got this correct. Yep, that one. Yep, yeah, got it. Okay, good.
You'd hear it from me if it was not correct.
I'm going to fix this now, so we go back to brand standard here because you wanted a 500-point font there and all that. What is this world coming to? We have our favorite live streaming pros just doing repotting.
I would like to know from the chat room how long they think it's going to be until John kicks me off the show. I feel I'm right on the edge.
I'm just waiting for him to go, and we're done, folks. We're done tonight. We're just done.
Stay safe. No. See, this is what happens when Burke misses a show. Now we have.
Now it looks like my name is Matt Haas.
Yeah, that's confusing. The placard looks
It
like...
is. My name is Ashley Blake Matt Haas.
There's no way to do this.
Is that better? Is the talent happy? Anything I could do to make the talent happy?
I could give you a suggestion, but you're not going to want to hear it.
Oh, that means I do want to hear it.
All right, this is boring graphic design talk. The VF Talks item.
Yeah.
It's got way too much empty space. You should shrink that up to where the gray background's just underneath VF Talks -May 7, and then you should put that on the same line as the scroll, and then make the scroll a little narrower.
See, it's moments like these that make me really start not liking Ecamm, in the sense that I'm not doing any sort of special Canva on top of this. I'm using just,
Right.
and now your bug is on top of the
Here's what I'm
ticker
gonna do.
here.
I'm
And
gonna
now
bring
my-
this in, I'm gonna bring this into Photoshop, and I'm gonna mock up your new layout. Live on the-
Now, by the way, we are a non-prof, so I can't pay you for that, but I appreciate it. You're talking about someone who's, oh, okay, all right. Okay. Oh, see, now I can't do that. I'm just going to go back to main for a second. Oh, boy. And now,
You should do.
there it is. So what kind of magic did you work there?
I just took a screen grab of it.
Just a screen grab? Okay.
And then I'm going to
Notice the smile that's on your face. I just want everybody in the viewing audience to see.
So there, we got that. All right, then we're gonna take this scroll, and we're gonna put this only to be that size. I'm gonna move that down. Like that.
Oh, have it on the same line as the title.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then this could fit here unmolested.
Nice word. That's good word.
That's a that is a technical publishing term. Sorry.
Of course.
And then this is be able to do that, and then whoops, and this area would be empty, and all of this would be empty. I'll do, like, I don't know, maybe that color. Shift F5. Yes, Shift. I finally learned Shift F5.
There you go.
That there is your new. How do I make this as big as the screen?
I like it. I absolutely like it. I also have to say, in this screen grab, Ashley, you look really happy too. That's awesome. I'm like,
He grabbed and I was giggling.
oh, now you think you can run the show? There you go. Got it. That's awesome.
Look,
There we go.
Look at how. Oh wait, go back to where that was. I like. I like how this part of the screen doesn't have anything behind it. Like it's this window and then the blue border, and then underneath the blue border you can see. Good work.
Thank you. Unintentional, obviously.
Yeah.
All right, so I go back here and go back to 4-panel and get everything in the background here. My God. The hell?
If you need me to
There we
improve
go,
your
got it.
live streams, folks, go to matthaas.com.
MattHaas.com. Seriously, shameless plug. Not really a shameless plug. Plug. If you go ahead.
I don't have something to plug, but I have something cool to show you. All right, so I'm screen sharing again.
All right, screen sharing again.
This is what I do for funsies. Like this is
Okay.
so that name is misspelled. It's got 2 S's instead of 2 A's,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a common misspelling of my last name. Watch what happens when you go to that site.
Hey, look at that.
And then once it's done, it waits 5 seconds and then flips over to the correct website.
I'm surprised you haven't turned that into smut. I'm really with thinking you got ass at the end of that. You might as well try to monetize that and turn it into smut. I mean, that would be the right thing to do, I would think. But that's just me. I'm just, again, it goes back to smut, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go again with it. There we go, back to
That website, the misspelled version, took me 10 years to acquire. I
Wow.
I set up the GoDaddy sniping service where they can try and get hard to find domain names for you, and they'll monitor the internet for when it comes free, and then they'll auction it for you on your behalf, blah, blah, blah. Paid for that service, and 10 years later, it actually fired it and got it, because the guy that was using it was a photographer, and he would have it, he would register it for a year, and then right at the last minute, he would extend it a year. And he did that for 8 years in a row. And then it went up for auction, and I bid on it. And or the sniping service that I bought wasn't aggressive enough, and it went to someone else. And then it was like, do you want this domain? We'll sell it to you. I'm like, yes, I want it. They're like, $2,500. I was like, no. No pound
no.
stand. And then they held on to it for 2 years until they finally abandoned it. And when they abandoned it again, I went back to the sniping service of GoDaddy and threw extra money on top of it. It was like $30 or whatever. And I finally got it. After 10
You saved
years.
99% on that.
Oh, did you ever want something and you couldn't get it?
All the
It
time.
just was not possible to get. And then 10 years later, you get it. Felt pretty good.
I'm wondering what kind of photography that photographer did with that website.
There was a wedding photography site. And then I guess he got tired of having his brand be a misspelled version of his name. And then he registered Matt Haas, spelled correctly, photography.com. And then he was using that. And then he let the misspelling go. And I reached out to him like years ago. I was like, I wrote him an email because he has his email published. And then he had a form where you can fill out, I want to do wedding photography. Tell me about your wedding. And I filled that out. I'm like, blah, blah, blah. I have the same name as you. I want that misspelling. Sell it to me. And then even when he switched over to Matt Haas Photography, spelledright.com, and he still had hold of the old one. It just was just like a no websites here. Like it wasn't up for auction yet. He still had control of it. I was like, please sell me. You're not using it. I will take it. Never got back to me. Never got back to me once. And I know he was getting the messages. And then here's the bad thing. I don't know if I should say this, but after I owned it for a while, here he comes. Now he's getting back to me. This is the first time he ever contacted me. All these messages, I was politely trying to get him in these different cycles of his business, and not a word. He's like, oh yeah, I got all of your messages, but now that you're not doing anything with it, can you give it to me back for free?
What?
I was like, do you know what I went through for 10 years hiring different people to try and snipe this thing for me at great expense? I'm like, and it is a business purpose. He was trying to say, you're not using it for anything. No, that's like I showed you what it does. Yes, it's snarky. Yes, it's kind of fun, but it's a legit business purpose because people misspell my name and they end up not on my site. Now they land on my site. And I was like, you can't have it for free. I'm like, if you want to make me an offer, I'll consider it. And he's like, no, I don't have the money. I'm like, well,
unbeknownst to you, I started a whole boudoir photography business using that very dumb.
I guess, John and Ashley, it just goes to show you, like, if you're in a good place and someone's trying to engage with you because, you know, they want to legitimately do business with you, don't just ignore them.
No.
Like, it would have taken him no time at all just to say, oh, thanks for the inquiry. Really, I don't want to do that. Like, I mean, she's just going to give me something. But he couldn't be bothered with it. Of the 10 years I was trying to get a hold of him, I reached out 3 times over those 10 years. It's not like I was nagging him. But he confirmed when after he reached out to me, he confirmed he got all my other messages and the form submissions on his website. I was like, oh.
I reached out to you 3 times. $3,000 if you want it back.
don't know. It's hard to let something go for free that it took me 10 years to acquire and a substantial amount of funds. I just thought that was cute. Yeah, he misspelled my name on the internet. It shows you how to spell it correctly and then forwards you to the site. Oh, I cracked myself up.
It forwards you to smut. It
Oh,
forwards you to savannas.
There's no money in that. Everything's free online now anyway.
But you're paying for craftsmanship.
People don't want craftsmanship. One of the woodworker guys I know, they wanted to do some of that BDSM furniture, like the big cross that you can get strapped to and all that stuff like that. And he put in a bid, and he was the high bidder, and he said no. And then some other Yahoo unknown put it together, and it was a complete garbage build. Like, it was flimsy. I was like, I can't believe people are paying top dollar for poor craftsmanship, where he was going to build something nice. But anyway, yeah, in that industry, high quality is not a number one.
Well, I mean, look, you can have a flimsy put together St. Andrew's cross, or you could have one that is put together with serious craftsmanship that is built to last, that can handle many different kinds of weight and whatnot and activity on it. I mean, there's a difference. I believe that is the first time in the 6-month history of the show that I mentioned the term St. Andrew's cross. So there. Merry Christmas. Won't be the last time. Hint, hint.
I do not
wink,
recommend.
wink, wink.
I do not recommend going into the woodworking business. It is. People have no idea. They're like, Matt, I saw this bookshelf at Walmart for $90. Can you make me one out of wood for half that money?
No.
I'm like, how about we do this? Let's go to Home Depot or Lowe's, and you buy the raw material, and it will be 4 times that just in the material. I was like, no, I can't build you.
Yes.
It's not possible.
They seem to forget that bookshelf at Walmart is particle board.
Exactly. With the cardboard backer that's held together with the little tacks.
Yes, those lovely little tacks that when you try to pound them in, they always bend.
Exactly. Imitation tacks. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing about woodworking is people just want the rock bottom price. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I want to get something for
I blame
nothing.
IKEA.
Yeah.
Instructions with no words in it.
I was going to make cutting boards that look like a keyboard with white maple and walnut, dark walnut for the black keys, and they were going to be end grain cutting boards, like the good kind, because the knife, anyway. And I spec'd it out, and I'm like, oh, okay, I can do that. People are like, oh, I would love to have a keyboard. Like, how big are they going to be? I'm like, I'll do 2 octaves. I'll do 24 keys. Like,
paddle size.
How much is that? I'm like, it'd probably be $150 an octave, so it'll probably be $300 for that. They're like, can you do it? Can you do it for $35? I'm like, no, $350 minimum, because that's a lot of work. Anyway, they just.
But a good cutting board is worth the money.
Mm-hmm.
People need to realize that. Just like good knives are worth the money.
Yeah.
Good knife will last you forever.
That's right. Same thing with copper pots.
Mm-hmm.
And cast iron.
And cast
skillet.
iron.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
My mother, she's not around anymore. She had an antique cast iron skillet. Used it it was in full rotation, full use. She'd make grilled cheese sandwiches. People who know about antiques are like, why are you using that to cook? You can't use that to cook. I'm just like, it makes the best grilled cheese. And it did. It made the best grilled cheese.
It does. No,
Yeah.
my grandfather's old cast iron skillet, when he passed away, my sister got it. She's still using it. Like, that will be used forever.
Yeah, I know. They're awesome. They are awesome.
Mm-mm-mm.
Oh, my son's here. Can you hear the dog barking?
Yeah, I do. I
That's-
do.
How do I identify that dog? Because it's my son's dog. Is it my grand dog?
That's your grand dog.
Grand dog.
Yeah.
That is your
That's
grand
my
dog.
Grand dog once removed.
No, just grand dog.
Second grand dog, twice removed.
She is so sweet. Oh my god.
Ancestry.com. I think they do dogs too, right?
They did that. They did the what is it? It's 23andMe for dogs. It was a different
Yeah.
company name, but
Where they
23 and Wolf.
The breeds, yeah.
they can
Really cool.
find the mother and father dog through their registry, and they hooked them up with the owners, and they sent my son pictures of his dog as a puppy because he got the dog when she was 6 months old. But they had newborn and 2-week-old photos of this little tiny fur ball. I was like, I can't believe you found the human parents of the dog parents of my son's dog. It was really cool. And they told them what the breed was because she's a mix of stuff, and it was spot on. It was spot on. It's pretty impressive.
There's 23 and Wolf. There's 23 Meow. There's
Oh, that's good. That's good.
I know they're doing the genealogy thing though to prove how many dogs in shelters aren't really pit bulls that are getting labeled pit bulls. They've started doing that now with shelter dogs to prove they're not.
Oh my gosh. When I went to my son's apartment, they have a nice park, and they have a dog park. They have a fenced in where dogs can just roam off leashes. Oh my, it was not for me. Like, cause the dogs, they roughhouse each other, but it's all in good fun. You know, no dogs actually getting hurt, but I'm just like, this is too much. Cause they'll nip at each other, and they'll pull their other dogs. I'm like, oh my, did you see? They're like, calm down, Dad, calm down. They're just playing. See, if the tails are wagging, they're fine. You know?
dog
You were worried
playing,
about your grand dog.
and then there's dog fighting. And I've been around dog fighting when I was in Baltimore. I know what that's like. You're right. There's a definite difference.
Me, I don't know the diff. I mean, I haven't been a dog owner hardly at all. I mean, we recently have a dog, but as far as before that, I've only owned cats. So I know very little about owning dogs and all of the little idiosyncrasies. And I'm just like, this is too much chaos for me. I got to take a walk. I can't. I'm too stressed out. But there are all kinds of dogs. There was a Rottweiler, a puppy Rottweiler. It was so cute.
Oh,
And there was a pug because they had 2 dog parks. They had one for the smaller dogs and one for the bigger dogs. And you could see over the fence to the smaller dog. There was a pug that was so fast. This thing, its little legs were a light, like you could barely even turn your neck as fast as this dog was running. I was like, how does that get so much energy? A little pug. I was like,
you don't think of a pug as being fast.
it was like a rocket ship. It was like, boom, boom. I was like, what the hell is that? It was crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, I give the
I'm
pug
not gonna go
CBD
back.
too. I'm just
I don't know. I'm not going back to the dog park. That was high stress for me, for Daddy. I didn't even own a dog. Like, it wasn't even my dog. I was just
too much of a
like,
traumatic experience. Too much of a trigger.
I mean, it wasn't that bad, but I was. There's a couple times I was like, oh my god. And the owners are just like, oh, they're playing, and they're knocking each other down. Because that's the other thing. Like, a dog will just be standing there, and a dog will come up and wham, just run into the dog. A dog will fly off, land on its side, get right back up. Just like, how is this okay? I'm like, how is this okay? But apparently it is, and apparently I got a lot to learn. But I don't know. Oh, it's crazy. Dog parks. Go figure. Yeah.
Well, I think we covered the wide vast of territory as far as different topics on this evening's program, where we even talked about BDSM for about 5 seconds, which is great. Perfect.
talked about craftsmanship of furniture, John.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Just
no,
happened to be for that use.
well, I mean, we can explore that a bit more next week. But that's a little bit. Anyhow, Matt, Ashley, thank you for jumping on tonight. You are an incredible set of hosts here. I appreciate you jumping on every week to do VF Talks with me, and tonight was really great, and I appreciate it.
We
And
paid
Matt,
John to say that about us.
Ashley, quick question: did Matt meet your expectation as far as derailing this enough for you?
A little bit.
Okay, good.
A little bit.
So Matt, you got your work cut out for you next week.
Okay, I'll turn it to 11 next time.
Yeah, turn the
right.
freak switch to 11. That'd be
Expect
great.
it.
Matt, I'll see you about what 2:30 tomorrow. You think 2:30?
Yeah. How are we doing? Are you going to the venue? Or are you coming to my house?
I'll come over to your place and then
All right, I'll send
park.
you my address offline.
Awesome. Ashley, thank you. Matt, thank you. Matt, I'll see you tomorrow. Ashley, I'll see you in a few minutes. And I go back to me, and I'm gonna put a giant bow on this.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
And I'm back to one over here to bring it back. Oh, and now I got this and whatnot and all of this. Anyhow, let's see. Let me try doing this over here. There we go. That works. Perfect. Outside of Ecamm technical difficulties for a second, or just me still getting familiarized with the software that's been about 6 months long here, but great series of topics tonight. Great panel, and I appreciate all your comments as well. I enjoy doing these VF Talks on Fridays because it really is a great counterbalance to the good stuff that we talk about on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I muchly thank you for joining me for that too. A quick plug about the MS Foundation again, or the MS Society, National MS Society. We are still collecting donations for the National MS Society at my fundraising site for the MS Walk that took place on Saturday. That's rebrand.ly/A Venture to a Cure. Again, rebrand.ly/A Venture to a Cure. If you want to know more about the National MS Society, call 1-800-344-4867. Again, 1-800-344-4867, or go to nationalmssociety.org. On Tuesday, we're going to continue the conversation about relationships. A couple more things that we're going to talk about in that episode, kind of piggybacking off of the last set of conversations we had about relationships. So definitely going to be a good conversation for sure. That'll be a Tuesday at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. Until next time, I'll say the same thing I say at the end of every single Venture Forward of VF Talks. Stay safe, stay sane, stay strong, stay sober. You're worth it. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. I'll see you on Tuesday at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. Have a great night.
Heading to Vegas in my blue striped car. She's riding shotgun and she looks like a star. Yeah, she's got the style that makes you think she's made out of gold. She says she likes it better when we go off-road. Yeah. I'm gonna make it worth your while. I'm gonna make it worth your time. Gonna make it worth your while.